Have a job. Hey, great Friday.
17, June 17th.
Great Friday.
June 17th.
Yeah, great Friday, June 17th. It is a beautiful Friday morning in the city of Brownsville, Texas. And I was expecting Maggie to come on. That's what we had agreed on. But for some reason, Maggie hasn't made it yet. Uh, Let me say, I was talking to El Primo. He's here this morning. And I was going like, hey, uh, I said, well, we'll see if anybody else comes on. But again, expecting Maggie, no. And then he goes, well, what about Roman? I go like, Roman's at the Republican convention. He's out there. It was the 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was 3 days. It's a major thing, and everyone's out there. And he said, "Hey, Erasmo, you should come and meet a lot of people that might be out there interested in helping the campaign out." And I said, "I have a job." you know? I said,
What do they do in those conventions, Primo? What is it? Like, you
"It's
just meet people?
it's
Or
just to
you donate
meet,
money? Or what is it?
yep, network with a lot of people that might donate money, but more than anything, to pump up the enthusiasm. And let me say, I think one of the only reasons towards the end that I was even more considered was because there is a lot of hoopla right now in regards to Mayra Flores's win for Congress. Mayra,
She's a Democrat?
no, she's a Republican.
Republican? Okay.
Yeah, she is our candidate. Well, not she's our congresswoman and going to be the Republican candidate come this November. So, guys, it's exciting in that aspect. Pero, you know, like and the ones that encouraged me to go was Roman. Roman go like, well, uh, I said, bro, as of right now, and when I was notified about it, saludos Luis Andrés Gómez.
Nuevo León.
Gracias, Luis Andrés. Saludos a toda la familia y a la familia de Dios. Oh, yes, and so Roman tells me, and I said, like, man, look, as of right now, I don't have anything scheduled for the 16th and 17th. At the 18th, I'm going to Puerto Vallarta. I don't have anything. I said, if my schedule remains that way, I'm there. I'll go to the convention. I'll go check it out. Yeah, not a big deal. And he goes, okay, good. So last week, he said, hey, that's what the convention. I said, bro, we got work. I can't. I'm not like you all that don't have a job.
Well, I was gonna ask you, is it Brownsville the same way the nation is on regards on the Republicans and
Yeah.
Democrats? Are they so divided that they hate each other so
No,
much that they do stupid stuff?
no, and that's part of my fight with a lot of the Republicans and Democrats here, because there's a lot of Democrats. They'll go like, "Oh no, it's the Democrats, Democrats." I said, "You don't even believe a lot of the stuff that the Democrats believe in." And the same way with Republicans. Well, now what's happened is the Republican Party has changed, and I don't care what anyone says out there. They've changed a lot because of individuals like Trump and a lot of the new age individuals that have come into the party. Because now it's like before, many years ago, they say, "Oh, Republicans they hate all Mexicans.
Yeah,
They hate Mexicans, and
they hate the poor.
they hate the poor.
Yeah,
They're only for the rich."
yeah,
And and people were going like, "Oh," and then you started to see, and what was trippy was that the people that were saying all this were the rich Democrats. The billionaire, millionaire, rich Democrats, and people would, sí, cierto, mejor voy con Kerry porque Kerry's para los pobres.
yeah.
Kerry's a billionaire, and you really think that he cares about the poor? He doesn't care about the poor. And this is, and it was a lie that was sold to a lot of the Hispanic and the Democrats out there, because they ate it up, because they thought, oh, le están pegando el corazón. Oh, we Democrats, we're going to give you all these social programs. And look, guys, social programs are a great thing in a country as rich as United States, but they shouldn't be a forever thing.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. And guys, we all know that there's just so much abuse out there that there's gotta be set limits. It's just gotta happen, because nobody, and I think because there was this big disassociate between the Democrats and the normal people. that people like really they didn't understand what was really, but there was a big disassociation. So the Democrats started to go really like far left.
Far left.
Y lo que pasa is when you give people an inch, they'll go out a foot and then a yard and then a mile and then you know many miles. And this is what happened to the Democrat Party, because when they started to go into the oh well as you know women y todo, and and Hispanics were like, oh yeah, women are important, mamacita, la virgen, and all this other stuff. Yeah, women are essential. And let me tell you, women are in Hispanic culture, women are
That is stronghold.
the stronghold. Yeah, ahí está la fuerza en la mujer. So when they heard that, they were like, oh no, Democrats are for women. So automatically everyone was heading towards the Democrat side. And look, it's one of the things that I mentioned because of my travels. When you go to Peru, to Colombia, to Ecuador, and you visit a lot of the cathedrals out there, ahí the principal figure in all of Latin America is La Virgen. And the Virgen, guys, it's unlike ours, because ours is like standing tall. I don't know if y'all seen them, but like nosotros está standing tall on top of the moon, holding the child acá abajo, lo que tú quieras, o así el niño abajo. That's our Virgen. The Latin American Virgen, guys, is different. The Latin American Virgen is a triangle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a triangle. It's like this
Okay.
and like this. And the reason, let's see if I can put this is the Latin America Virgen. And the reason that it's like this is because of our Indian ancestry. What they try to do when the conquistadors, and again, Dr. Zavaleta, who usually is on, Dr. Zavaleta can verify this for me, as that he is anthropologist. He knows, trust me, he knows Latin lore, Latin history, Latin spirituality. So what happens is when the conquistadors came and the Catholic Church came to Mexico, morning paper patty, what they tried to do was replace the old gods of the Inca, the Aztec, the Olmecs, the Mayans. They tried to replace those gods with La Virgen and Jesus Christ and all these other folk out there. So that is why the Virgen is in the shape of a mountain. It's in the shape of a mountain. And that's why it's a triangle, guys. I don't know if people knew that. That's why it's in a triangle. So what happened is,
I never noticed that.
yeah, it's in a triangle. So what happens is individuals like, la mamá, porque la mamá tierra, la mamá papacha. I think that's what the Toltecas, no, the Teotihuacans, no, the Incas, papacha. I can't remember, and I don't want to say it completely wrong because then I don't remember. But they had a certain word for her, so automatically you would focus from there to here, and focus on the Virgin and think of the mountain. Think of the mountain. So what happens is that they tried to associate one thing with the other. They still got screwed.
Yeah.
They still got slaughtered. They still got raped. They still got vilified out there.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. So what happens is, guys, that's what the Democrats tried to do. And, unfortunately, they try to feed you. It's like Judge Eddie Trevino. Judge Eddie Trevino's out there. Oh, no, we're out here for you. The guy's a millionaire, The guy's a millionaire. And anytime he wants to instill any type of program out there, the programs he's instilling are mostly to help himself. And Joey Lopez and Gus Ruiz and Sophie Vanadia and all the other individuals on there. That's the problem. But a lot of the old amarrado Democrats aquí, no, es que están para los pobres. They're not, and they become so disassociated that they just have forgotten, what the Hispanic vote is all about. We're about pro-life, pro-family, guys. And what a lot of Hispanics started to do, and one of the things that I think really, really backfired on the Democrats when they were going after Trump is when they were saying like, oh, ya ves, Trump dijo que los que venían, they're drug addicts, they're drug dealers, they're rapists, they're murderers. And, all the Democrats all over the place were like, oh, well, how could he say that? And the Hispanics here were going like, damn, he's right. You know, because Hispanics, guys, Hispanics want legal immigration. Hispanics don't want people coming over illegally, guys. I'm talking about American Hispanics, the Hispanic vote. They want people to come over here the right way. How do I know? Because I'm a Mexican. You know, my grandmother, our grandmothers came over here legally, legally, and they had to go through a damn process. You know, they had to go through a damn process. And you know, a lot of folk out there, they sell their homes, they invest, they have people in the United States that are paying out boogles of cash, guys, to help their family have a better life and bring them over legally. I shared, acabo de venir de Juarez. I just came from Juarez, guys, American consulate out there. You're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of people trying to come into this country legally. And they spend money out there and they're in line for days, days. They literally have to spend a week in Juarez, guys, to come over to the greatest country on the face of God's earth legally. But then you've got the Democrats like Biden and La Kamala and all these other people opening the border and telling people, come on over, come on over.
They're refugees.
Oh, yes, they need help.
Call it
Humanitarian,
humanitarian.
or they're looking for amnesty. Everyone in the world wants amnesty from economical oppression. It's not our fault. And look, guys, there's a process. And I'm sorry, part of the problem that it became so boggled down here, guys. They came so boggled. Yes, they do have to wait years to get to their appointment in Juarez. It gets so boggled down that the courts can't process this, all that. And they can't process it because a lot of times Trump wanted to get his judges in there rebunked. But again, it doesn't matter. So what happens is then Hispanics see that all these illegals just come across. They're here in Brownsville. They're right here, guys. A block and a half away. Come over to my office and I'll walk you there. And I'll show you. Spend an hour with me there and you'll see all these illegals that are there in the parking garage, guys, that then they get sent to the bus station that just walk across, and then some get transported to the airport, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say that nobody talks about neither the Republicans or Democrats about the roles a man has to play and a woman has to play, and let's say children have to play in the society. It comes down to that, because the Democrats are saying like women are empower women. Okay, but what's going to be her role? Her role is going to be like disrespect men, teach their kids to disrespect teachers, disrespect authority. Well, back then, women will teach us how to be respectful to everybody, even our tios. We had to kiss their hand.
Yeah,
but that was my grandma teaching us that. But now the roles
have changed.
Women are playing is no, mija, no te dejes. Échale la policía, 911. Like,
yeah,
what are the roles?
But because what's happened is those are the conservative values that we used to have. Family, discipline. Those are conservative. And look, they're more in tune with the Republicans than they are with the Democrats. Because the Democrats are all like, no, la mujer, todos los derechos, y no tiene que cocinar, no tiene que cenar. And a lot of Hispanics were going like, I mean, look, and men, men no eran pintados como los ponen, porque los pintaban que abajo del nopal con el sombrero tomándose la tequila. It was never like that. Men
beating up women,
are beating up women. It wasn't everyone out there. But again, guys, those are the stereotypes that they tried to embed in the head in order to force individuals to start eating up an ideology that's just wacko, guys. It's just wacko. Why can't we go back to the old and conservative values that we've kept? And they made our community strong. And that's where a lot of our Hispanics are coming back to. They're coming to those old values that we used to have, and we're wanting them. And they're not finding them in the Democrat Party. They're not. Good morning. Saludos, mi hermano Erasmo. Voy para Linares, Nuevo León, y vengo llegando de Laredo, Texas, con mi hijo Samuelito. Dios te bendiga y saludos a tus papás, por favor, especialmente a tu mamita porque cumplió años. Bendiciones, brother. Saludos a toda la familia. Good morning, good morning, a peppermint patty, good morning. The Democrat policies supported by the national, state, local elected officials are not in our best interest. Inflation, rising costs, and crumbling infrastructure is indicative of failed policy. Yes, and look, guys, everything that Judge Carlos Cascos just mentioned is exactly what we're suffering from here in Brownsville, Texas. Look, guys, we are suffering from inflation, but in inflation, I'm going to refer to it as the economy. We're suffering from an economy that has not produced for its people. We have absolutely no economic development, no good paying jobs down here, where nurses here make a fraction of what nurses make, up north, you know, a rising cost of everything. This morning, Dr. Cabrera, just this morning, let me tell you, there's a huge old line, guys. All from desde allá de Alts and Glore, trying to get food at the Brownsville Event Center,
Oh
guys.
yeah.
A huge line. And my question you know, is it really cost efficient for individuals to spend that time, gasoline resource, because they're in their vehicles, guys, to get a box of food, you know? And I guess maybe for some it is, but that's how bad things are right now. And those are the lines that Judge Eddie Trevino, that Joey Lopez, that Gus Reese, that all these individuals out here have been completely ignoring. And they have been the root cause of them all. We're not even going to start with the infrastructure. Everything floods down here and we get nothing. Good morning, Dr. Janie Cabrera.
Good morning, sir. I'm a hyphenated woman. When you say Cabrera, I don't know if I can handle that. So I'd rather so go for Juana, Doctora Juana, Dr. CC.
How about
Jane.
Dr. Janie?
That's mighty fine. That's mighty fine.
It's easier, Dr. Juana's. It's just
Yeah,
it's
I
easier
know
to
the
say.
Cantu Cabrera people have to kind of get into, but I'm a woman of the 90s.
You know what? It's so trippy because I love the name Cabrera. It's kind of cool. I've always liked it. I don't know why. I don't know if it reminds you of Cabrera. But,
Yeah. That's they would say chupacabra. They would say
Cabra. Dr. Janie,
bunches of
it is.
stuff. Bunches of stuff.
How you doing today?
Hey, I am glad. I had a whopping how many? 451 people. Ooh.
Oh, that's great.
Uh,
And
hey, you know
congratulations.
what? I got this thing out of my system. I needed to, like
No,
I said, I'm gonna send you that little movie clip, but it was Network from 1976. It's like you're mad as hell and you can't take it anymore. It was one of those things to where I needed to vent, and I'm very, very glad I did that.
no, and let me tell you, one of the things that I've always said, I'm very, very glad that you threw your name in the ring. It takes guts, it takes guts, and a lot of people. And let me tell you, we need those 457 people. We
Well,
need.
well, those people, and plus Rene. The whole thing is there. I don't know if there was 7%, 5% of what our population was that voted.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very minimal.
there is that. Think about that. Think
Yeah.
about though. There's 5% of the people in the Rio Grande Valley that decide what is going on for 95% of the rest of the population.
It's crazy.
Well, let me tell you, 30. Let me say, let me just. I'm getting a call from Mexico.
Ooh.
Let me say, 35,000 people is a third, less than a third of the people register vote in Brownsville, Texas. Just Brownsville. I'm not talking about Cameron County or in the district, in the whole district. But it's very unfortunate. But let me tell you, no, it's not easy running for office. You take a lot of hits. A lot of times, your family takes a lot of hits, and I'm not just talking about verbal or abusive hits, but also, you dedicate a little bit of time, to go out there to file to do all this. But no, in all sincerity, we're all going to need your 457 people. We're going to need Rene's people, and we're going to need Dan Sanchez people, because let me tell you, we need unity more than anything in these times, because we enter into a race because we disagree with a lot of the failed policies of what's going on in our community. And I'm glad that Judge Carlos Cascos mentioned these, because it is no economic development here, to whereas we could have jobs that can actually help with the increase of everything that's going on. But Dr. Janie, think of this. We've got individuals, elected officials, that are giving themselves huge raises. You know, then raising our taxes to give the lower rung of the employees small raises, and it's not enough. They're already set. Eddie Trevino doesn't need a raise. Eddie
No, they
Trevino,
don't. They don't. But we voted them into office. I mean,
exactly.
that's the whole thing. All of that, 5% of the people voted them into office, and in a small way. I mean, do they want other people to start voting, or do they just want their little pack of people to vote for them and not really try to get the majority of the population out there?
But I am very excited. I think that what happened, and again, what happened on Tuesday, is that it just goes back to the sentiment of the people. It it it, it was the same thing that happened with the vote arena, the arena vote.
Hmm.
People were just upset that
But
these people
but
had called
it was very few votes. I mean, they're
200.
going to bring it. They're going to bring it back up because there's some people that want to make money in a different way. They're going to keep on doing this until they win. Until we get enough people to say, "Hey, look at all the money that we are spending, and the taxes that we're paying, so somebody can have a new cell phone and a new car, a new truck, and a raise." It
It's
is. It
but
is a lot of injustice out there.
but
Injustice.
but look, and Dr. J, with Eddie Trevino. I mean, the guy's a millionaire many times over
How?
because of the public tit. That's how. Because of the public tit. He was out. He was the one that was the attorney for PUB when they were screwing us over with Tenasca. And Tenasca literally lost our community $135 million. $135 million. Joey Lopez, is out there eating off the contracts of BISD. Where he has his daughter as a board member. I mean, she recently voted to get him a contract for his bank that
But isn't
loans.
this like all against the law? I mean,
Well, what happens, Dr. Janey, is that it's like, and I'll go into Mayor Trey Mendez here in the city of Brownsville. Mayor Trey Mendez set himself up to get $200,000, and all of this is proven, guys. There's nothing that, because people go like, oh, you have, if you have. I said no. He tried to get $200,000 from the Elon Musk money that Elon Musk donated for BCIC by applying for money for $200,000 to fix up a building that he had just bedoggled from Pobre Viejita, $200,000. And then, so we brought it up because we caught it in time, fortunately, brought it up, and he retracted it, and then we demanded an investigation. Well, we had the ethics committee out there investigating, the ethics committee. So when the ethics committee goes and investigates, Dr. Janey, when they go and investigate, they say, well, we found that there was nothing illegal. This is how stupid they are.
mhm.
They said, we found that they did nothing illegal. They said it was unethical, but it wasn't illegal. And I said, bitch, you're not the law committee. You're not the legal committee. You're the ethics committee.
Mhm.
Just go out there and give a public statement. What the mayor did and Ramiro and La Limas brothers, what they did was unethical. Give a statement. They did nothing because se tapan con la misma cobija. Because what happens, Dr. Janey, is that it's not illegal. It may be unethical because it's not illegal. And you know why it's not illegal? It's not illegal because Trey Mendez, Ramiro Gonzalez, and the Limas, they set the parameters. They set the parameters for you to qualify for that money. So guess what? If Dr. Janey wants to get the money and has the power to, shift things around, she's going to say, well, you have to have a doctor's degree. You have to wear a beautiful shade of blue, and you have to have amazing pointed glasses and probably the best hair in the valley.
Oh yeah.
And then guess what, Dr. Janey? Then only
I
you,
qualify.
and then you and a couple of other people, and it's not illegal, but is it
It's
ethical?
just it's playing a system. but
playing the system.
and this is the system that needs to change.
Yes. Self-awarding raises as the county judge and commissioners did without considering the rank and file demonstrates the arrogance and attitude they are proud to portray. Yeah, they don't care. During the COVID situation, and I don't know if you know this, Dr. Janie,
Hmm.
during the COVID situation, Eddie Trevino, Joey Lopez, and all the commissioners, Gus Reese, Sophie Benavides, all the commissioners, what they went out there and did, they went out there and got all these vouchers, for vaccines when we were
Hmm.
suffering for them, and they just sent their families, their friends, their compadres, their political donors to the front of the line. Well, guess what, Dr. Jenny? That they made our people, the
Hmm.
people that they serve, they made them wait eight to 10 hours in line to pick up a voucher one day. To pick up a
Yeah,
voucher, no
yeah.
restroom,
There's a lot of injustice. That's
no restrooms, no water, no nothing. Then they had them come back 2 3 days later, Dr. Janie, another 8 to 10 hours to get the vaccine with their voucher, while their folk, their family members, their donors, they were in the front of the line.
Mhm.
How is that fair?
So when do they run? When did
November,
th-
November.
so who's running against Trey?
Well, Trey is in April. This is the county.
Okay.
Judge Eddie Trevino, Judge Carlos Cascos is running against Eddie Trevino.
Hence he's on it. He's
He's
on you.
on it. And people need to be reminded. Erasmo Castro, I don't know if you know him,
I read about him.
handsome guy. Erasmo Castro is running against Joey Lopez, a not so handsome guy.
Okay. But he's unethical.
And Chuck Vey is running against Gus Reese. So there's an opportunity to literally flip this around.
Mhm.
You know, literally flip this around. Yes, we do. We want them in here and right away to pay taxes and follow the law. Suerte.
Well, pay taxes. That's the whole thing. I mean, all the taxes that we're paying,
Oh,
we're still paying.
yeah, and I think what Peppermint Patty is referring to is to the individuals that are wanting to come out here legally. Yeah, guys, look, and let me say, we want individuals, to come the right way, because what happens, Dr. Janie, a lot, and again, I don't know if you heard my spiel towards the beginning. I
Mhm.
can't remember, but I've been to Juarez. Actually, like last month, I was in Juarez. I've seen how a lot of people, they sacrifice their time, money to come over to the United States legally, and all we want as Hispanics is for everyone to do the things the right way. My grandparents came over here legally. My tios and tias came over here legally, spent a fortune, waited in line. So we want, just follow the laws that are in the book. Now, if people complain about the laws in the book, like, oh, well, well, then change the laws. But we have laws that need to be followed. Come over the right way, and these folks that come over, and I
But
compare it to
it's disrespectful. That's the whole point
it
for
is.
them coming over. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
why can't they just stop? Well, uh, I have a question.
yeah.
Okay, because Brownsville is so close to Mexico, you had mentioned that there were so many students from Mexico that come to the school system in Brownsville. Do they?
Yes,
And
tons.
tons. Okay. And so do those students, do their parents pay school taxes?
No, no, but this is what happens, and again, and this is
So
where, in regards to the kids, and it's a real fine line, because look, they have what they're called las rolas. Las rolas are these vans that pick up the students from Mexico. I mean, literally, and again, a lot of times have better transportation than a lot of the folks here in Brownsville in regards to our bus system, which is a mess. But anyway, but that's a topic for another story, a topic for another day. What happens is that the rolas, they get in line, I think it's in 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, to bring the students over. With that said, there are a lot of Americans living in Matamoros, because what happens, and it's all systematic. What happens is that a lot of we are a lot poorer than what is really really our numbers display. A lot of people can't afford to live here in Brownsville, and they find it easier to pay rent, utilities, in Mexico, because in
Yeah, I
Mexico,
know a few.
let me tell you, the rent amount is, for $1,000, you can have a major ass home in Mexico, and here now in Brownsville, for cualquier chocita, they want you to pay $1,000. That's first of all. Second of all, PUB, our electricity rates, they went up 35%. That's where Eddie Trevino and all these other folks out here, they don't give a rat's ass. That's where they screwed us over with those $135 million. So electricity bill, I mean, they just said, we're going to screw you. It's going to come up in June. And it has. A lot of people are paying $100, $200 more this month just because they bedazzled us. They fooled us. So what happens is people in Mexico, they pay 400 pesos a month for electricity. 400 pesos, like 20, 30, 40 bucks. Well, it varies, but between 20 and 40 bucks is what they pay a month in light bill in
Wow.
Mexico. So that's another reason why a lot of our kids in families decide to live on the Mexican side, and they have to come over, to do their schooling here. A lot of the kids are Americans, and I'm not dogging a lot of American kids, but a lot of the kids are from Mexico. That
But if you live in Mexico, do you don't need to pay taxes, or do you still pay the school taxes?
no school taxes. School taxes are only charged on property. But with that said, let me say that the taxes out here, they are not suffice to pay for our school. What happens is, and this is one of the reasons why, I actually questioned when I learned that the Port of Brownsville is actually paying taxes to Port Isabel. So when I became a board member, and I was confused on the matter, so I said, well, why can't we get that money as a school district, because it's the Port of Brownsville, it's part of Brownsville. Well, what I learned was that there's a cap on amount of money that you can receive. So let's say Brownsville gets $50 million in taxes, okay, and the port could put in another $25 million, but the state has already determined that you could only have
That
50,
cap.
$50 million, 50. So those 20 million go back to the state. So it's that's just the way it works out, because what the state does, they subsidize a lot of the other places where no la hacemos, and we don't raise enough taxes anyway in order to pay for all the money that the school board members steal.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Having them steal, we just need new people.
100%, I agree with you, and this is why, Dr. Janie, we need new people all over, everywhere. Everything has to change, because we have been so damn stagnant as a community. And look, and people hate it when I compare Brownsville to McAllen, but McAllen has been eating our lunch for far too long. They're prospering, they're growing, they're getting fights here, they're getting fights there, they're getting fights everywhere. We're getting nothing in Brownsville. Harlingen is now flying out to Cancun, direct flights at $89, $90. I actually wanted to go take a weekend in Cancun just because it's right here, And now, without that, they took away the COVID testing for people that are wanting to come back into the country via air. I said, I want to do that. Why can't Brownsville get that? Why does McAllen get it? Why does Harlingen get it? And Brownsville does it. And it doesn't because of a failed leadership that we have in Cameron County and the city of Brownsville. Last year, BJ granted Salary Management Solutions $200,000 for structural improvements on an empty lot. Was that deal a scam? Yes.
Yeah, it sure was.
It's horrible. And again, they do it. And one of these days, I'll invite you to lunch, Dr. Janie.
Are you going to pay?
Yeah, I'll pay.
Hey.
Cuando yo te digo I invite, it means I'm paying.
Okay.
Most of the time. Pero, no, I want you to come over to my office for lunch. I'm going to walk you over so you could see. You could see it's just right here, a block away. And see the building that we were scammed with, the Casa de Nylon building, where we paid a now sitting commissioner $2.3 million for a piece of crap building. It's right here.
And that's why we're $38 trillion in deficit. I mean, we're getting this money, but this money is coming from us borrowing it. It's like a never ending terrible scheme.
And we go into these bonds, and that's ultimately what they wanted to do with the arena. They wanted the people of Brownsville to pay for that. People, people
Okay.
of Brownsville, but people of Cameron County to pay for that arena. That's where we get screwed, and everyone gets screwed. Rancho Viejo gets screwed. Everyone gets screwed, and everyone feels it because even, and this is what's so trippy, because even the upper middle class, they're starting to feel it, and they're starting to feel it because what happens is a lot of them have these businesses out there. You know, they have these businesses, and especially people from Rancho Viejo, they're doing well off. My sister's about to build a home out there because all my sisters are rich. I don't know how the hell they all became rich, but my sister's building a home out there, a mega big, huge mansion home out there. I need to ask her for a loan. Gavi, Genaro, break down. But because they have this company. But what happens is, they're going to start to feel the pinch because what's going to happen is with these continued failed policies in Cameron County where everything remains stagnant, people won't be able to afford the houses that my cuñado wants to sell. Nobody is going to be able to construct in a way that a lot of these contractors here
Not right now. This is
not
not
right
the time
now.
to. This is not the time to buy.
Dr. Janie, right now, let me tell you right now, if you last year or 2 years ago, I love you, Rafael, with all my heart, bro. Este, if you guys, guys, 2 years ago, if you wanted to build a home, you were paying $100,000 for wood to build a home. You were paying $100,000 to build a home. Today, to build a home in Brownsville, you're paying $300,000 for wood.
Wood is expensive right now.
It's crazy, So what happens is, you know, everything's gone up. So if you were going to build a home for $250,000, now you're going to be having to pay for a home $450,000, and that's what sucks because they have to add in all the increase in gas, the increase in prices, the increase in payroll, the increase in food consumption. All that gets factored in, so we get screwed. And people may complain, bitch, about the previous president all you want, that he said mean things and everything. But let me tell you, we lived a better life 2 years ago than we live today.
I feel if they would have watched Archie Bunker, if they would have like put that little sitcom up and watched Archie Bunker, everybody would have kind of understood Trump.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But that's what's that happened. We've become the delicate generation. Words hurt, and that's why And let me tell you. And the other day, someone was going like, "Oh," and I'll say, "Oh, did you hear what Dr. James says?" I said, "There's just words. She has an opinion. Let her express her words."
Hey, I want to talk about a couple of things since the words. Bacteria is bacteria. Bacteria is a living organism. That's what my point was. I wasn't saying that 23 chromosomes and 23 chromosomes is bacteria. I mean, people need to put that together. The other thing is, I want to clarify that Roman Perez, right? Roman Perez, he is the liar. There is no, he needs to check his facts. Straight and simple. Roman, you're a bully. You're a liar. Your sources, whoever your sources are. I know what I said on Futuro RGV. I know what I said, and I know I want to do it. I want to do it because you sound so bad, but I have it taped. I have this conversation taped. You're a bully now. So for anybody, and that's my whole point. If any woman, I think if any woman or man, I think if a man would have run for office, they wouldn't have called him, "Hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?" But for a Roman Bettis to do this, he's a bully, and plain and simple. So I really don't like that leadership. Well, and you're saying that he's got some type of great leadership. It's not going to be good for a party. This party is not going to be good for it's.
Well,
he's not good.
and I think one of the things, and look, and I've known Roman for many, many years, and one of the things that don't let him get under your skin. Roman is, we go like, Roman is Roman, and Roman,
Like Mr. White, like Mr. John White.
Yeah, John White's John White, and I love John White. John White and I are, trust me, great, great friends. John White and I are great friends. he's a great guy. You know, very
No,
very.
I think he was playing around. I
He
hope he
was.
was playing around.
He was. He's an ultra conservative, but the guy can can throw some jokes and stuff. A great guy. But what I'm trying to say is that with Roman is Roman, and a lot of people go like, and that's what Roman said this and this. I go like, he's Roman. It's like he's
Mhm.
Roman. I think one of the things that is important is that we all have our different set of skills. And Roman, and I will say this about Roman. Roman, in regards to procedure and policy, Roman is on there. Maybe his people skills, not so
Well,
much.
the whole point is the boy is disrespectful.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah,
And and
that
I'm
happens. Yes,
and
we've had.
and that is, and for him to call me a liar, I mean, come on now.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
I don't agree with that. And then I did try to say you need to step back a little bit. And I don't know if you've seen, but Roman and I have had our own discussions in regards to a lot of ideals and that he's expressed and shared. But again, I think that one of the things that I think that hurts a lot of folks is that you know sit down and talk about it, and then hash it out, bash it out, and
I
let it
you
go.
know I and my concern, this is my only concern, is that if he has anything to do with any type of political affiliation to where he's going to try to bring people in to run for office, I will be leery of those people
Yeah.
that he's bringing in.
Yeah,
So
and I don't think that
that is
I
my
don't think
only
that's going to be his
concern.
role. I don't think it's going to be his role. I think one of the things that and I'm hoping, and again, guys, and again, everyone knows I like Roman, and I've had my ins and outs with Roman, and they've been very, very public, and I'm good, but I like Roman. I think one of the things that the party needs to do, and I think that again, I think with the leadership, Morgan Cisneros, I'm hoping that the leadership in the party, Mayra Flores, because now let me tell you guys, and I'll say this: the leadership in the party, the top leadership, is Morgan Cisneros Graham, is Mayra Flores because of her position now, and Judge Cascos because of his previous positions and because of the spot that he's trying to get there in Cameron County. I'm going to trust that the leadership in the party is going to rein in a lot of all our, and I'll include myself in there, our Roman, all of ours, different little quirks. And again, guys, that's what
Well,
needs to be.
I need to see. I need to see
Yeah,
because
again,
I'm very leery about. I mean,
I
I'm glad that a
trust
Republican
but
won.
verify.
I'm glad that Myra won. But
Trust but verify.
my whole thing is, are we running the same type of person? Or is
100%.
this the same type of person that we've had, and we're going to just reinvent the same wheel that the Democratic Party has invented?
And your concerns are valid, Dr. Jane, because I don't know if you saw the show, but I expressed the same things. I said, very proud. Congratulations. I congratulated her publicly. I will continue to do so.
Mhm.
She is leading the
Yeah, I
party.
congratulated. Well, I didn't like verbalize it, but I put it on my
100,
website.
and that's fair.
Mhm.
And again, guys, and one of the things that I mentioned that night, because people were saying, "Well, that's what weren't you critical about?" Yes, I'm critical about everybody, everyone. But she doesn't deserve respect because she has the position.
Mhm.
She worked her ass off to get the position, guys. And let me tell you, I mean, it wasn't given to the individual. She worked it, which is fine. But and I said it, Dr. Janey, we trust but verify, and we're going to be watching, and we're going to
Yeah.
hold them accountable to the
That's
people.
what a lot of people need to do.
Hold them accountable to the people that voted them in.
Mhm.
That's our job, Dr. Janey.
Mhm.
We're going to hold them
Mhm.
accountable, and that's fine. And I don't want you talking off your little talking points. I want you to
Mhm.
really be invested in the people. But
Yeah.
this I expect from her. I expect from Morgan. I expect from Judge Cascos. I expect from myself. I expect from Roman, who is now, out there with the party. And again, great. And I'm thinking and I'm praying that a lot of the top leadership, which include Mayra Flores, Morgan Graham, and Carlos Cascos, will be able to home in and rein in a lot of that craziness that a lot of us spew out. Because let me tell you, sometimes, and again, Erasmo Castro is very, very vocal, very, and, maybe at times, as the people will say, like, well, tone it down a little bit. It's going to be kind of harder because Erasmo Castro doesn't do that for anyone. But maybe with Roman, it could, start molding, and that's all we want. We want unity in the party. We want unity for our community. Our community deserves a united party. Our community deserves individuals that are going to fight for what's right, going to fight for those things that we as conservatives they're just sick and tired of, because these Democrats have really screwed this area over horribly in all areas. In regards to the school district, let me tell you, is that they will approve the 8%. I'm hoping that what is actually going to happen is they'll approve the 8%, and on top of that, limit the contract of the superintendent. That's what I want. That's not what we're going to get, but I'm confident that we are going to get the 8%.
I
But
would love the school board to actually amend and decrease everybody's salary that are administrative. I mean,
100%.
just to do that would bring in some monies for everybody, for the like the bus drivers. I mean,
100%. I don't know if you saw that show that we had,
I
but
did. I
Tim
did.
Lopez went out there and said 2 point some million dollars, and you
That's
know, Dr. Janie, I've been screaming about that for years now. 2.6, 2.3.
well, if it's been years, then that's $10 million that that people that actually work, not administrative pencil pushers, people that are actually working for the school district and making things happen for our students.
When was the cap established? Maybe we could raise the cap since we are getting more schools and population. The cap, well, the way that it is determined, Vicente, is that you get $65 per student per day.
60.
And I'm giving a number, and people are going to say it was actually 62.3.
Okay.
Giving a number, guys. They get $65 per student that they have sitting in their classroom per day. That is one of the reasons why, Vicente, that they're so adamant about don't miss school, don't lose school. You have to be at school. You have to be at school because it's part of the money that they get. And again, hey, it's a business for them. But my issue is I don't mind it being a business for them if the money was actually going to the right people. But like Dr. Cheney said, it's going to the top brass, and that's what sucks.
That's what needs to change. Somebody needs to amend that.
100%. That's what I mean. So in regards to the contract that Barbarella was mentioning, I firmly believe that the 8% is going to be there. We should have gotten more, but we're getting the 8%. What we needed really to fight for was the contract of the superintendent and everybody else out there. And what Dr. Janey said, let's start about, hashing out these. Look, why couldn't we have had a contract that as you lose students, you lose part of your salary?
Yeah, or the whole thing is that guy needs to get out. I mean, he's getting paid more than the president of the United States and a congressman put together. Yeah, it's just unbelievable with the amount of money that they're getting.
Horrible. Will MIDA survive in the new drawn map in November? The answer is yes. Actually, because of the Republican, because of the Republican-led state, is the map favors MIDA. It favors MIDA. It favors the conservative Republican Party.
I don't understand
what happened? There was
this new map.
There was a change in the map,
right?
Where it now encompasses more Republican counties.
Oh no! Oh, actually, not now. Now, I mean, in November it won't.
Yes, in November, not now.
Yeah, I mean, right now it did do it. All the new 6 counties, they were all pretty much Republican.
Yes,
but we're going to lose all those counties just to for Willacy. I mean, think about it. Think about what the primary was. You had Vicente Gonzalez. He had 13,000, and then you had Dr. Laura. She had 8,000 votes, and that was in the primary. And then I think Myra had like 9,000. Or 10,000.
I honestly can't remember.
So I don't know. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very tight. I think the Democratic Party is going to get. They're going to take a lot of fiber and get their shit together. That's what I think.
Well, they need to get their crap
together.
But I think it's going to be a little bit too little, too late. Dr. Janey, you're amazing. When are you going to be back on with us?
I don't know. When I have a day off.
Tomorrow?
No, I'm working tomorrow.
How about
no, tomorrow? Monday. No, not Monday. Maybe Tuesday.
I'll remind me Tuesday. I'll send you a link. You're amazing, and I appreciate you.
So are you, sir. So are you.
Have a great day, guys. Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer. Still believe in all that crap. I'm done, guys. Have a great day. Got to go to work. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to me. God bless.